guys, Shanky here. I'm trying to set up a comparison of Guildhall versus private islands, pros and cons of those to help out with Sonari's slides for the labor system. She's done a ton of work, and I wanted to try and help out wherever I could, so I'm going to try to be as thorough as possible. I've got something set up. I'm going to start with just basic initial cost to even get them started. So, obviously you're going to come to this guy. Let's just say all these are zeros, and I'm not, I'm in my own guild. Your private island is going to cost you 2,500 silver to set up, where a guild island is going to be 10 grand. The private island, you have to be a premium member for at least 30 days in order to set it up, and that you don't have to maintain that. I have had alts that expired, and I was able to shut down an island and restart a new one. So as long as you've done at least once, you can move islands around and don't have to pay that cost again. But that's another factor you're going to have to put into your initial cost. In the beginning of the game, this wasn't such a big deal because gold, of course, was a lot cheaper. So your initial premiums were less, where now it's pretty crazy. The guild island, I don't know if you have to be a premium member or not. Excuse me. I did not test that, so I'm not positive on that factor. If you do, I'm going to assume that you do, but I'm not 100%. So there's your first initial cost. We're going to cruise over to Smoky Storage. Where are you? Smoky Storage. And the first thing I'm going to go over is the material cost of a guild hall. I've set up some other houses that are the same tiers as this guild hall. And what I'm going to be comparing is one guild hall versus 5 houses. And the reason I'm doing this is because the initial cost to build this in resources is 450. Ignore that because I'm up higher. But to build a tier 2 guild hall is 450 of all these resources, which is the equivalent of 5 houses. Not only that, but once you get at least your house to tier 3, you can put 2 laborers in it. So 5 houses, that's 10 laborers. Tier 3 guild hall, same thing, you can have 10 laborers. I was going to compare this one to the furniture slots. That one was 35 versus, I'm pretty sure they're the same, they're in par with each other. So yeah, 35 slots. So 5 houses is going to have the same amount of furniture slots as one guild hall. So that's kind of my baseline. And I've got this house at tier 3, laborers tier 3, furniture's tier 3, and it's capped. I guess I could probably start with this in a way. So basically no chest. I wanted to max these out, so I've got the hunters trophies, 10 each, and the mercenary trophies, like Sonari kind of covers in the slides. That's going to give these guys 40 happiness in the trophy department. The guild hall is going to be the same, except the only difference with the guild hall is that you can stack up to 5 of the exact same trophies. Each trophy is going to give you 2 points. You can kind of see back here, I've got 5 foxes, 5 wolves, 5 of these. I had, well, no, I don't want to skip. And if you get looking, I'm at 42. And the only reason I'm at 42 instead of 40, if you notice that guild house was at 40, is because I kicked in these 2 generalists because I had 2 extra furniture slots. Those furniture slots are only there because I only need 3 tables in a guild hall to keep these guys happy. Tables, yeah, they're 150, so that frees up 2 furniture slots. Normally I would go with chests because chests are more valuable to me than that whole whopping 2 points of happiness, but I figured I'd try to squeeze as much as I could. You still need the same amount of beds. I have 10 beds in here, 10 laborers. They're all tier 3. Everything I try to neutralize it as much as possible. So where the big con, in my opinion, comes into play here is is just the overall cost. Like I said, when you build this guild hall at tier 2, the resources are exactly the same. When you move it up to tier 3, where's my little cheat sheet? What happens is your refined materials stay the same. So that's pretty much the same as 5 houses. But your tier 1 and tier 2 actually double. Um, in order to get this guy to tier 3, it was 900 of these, where the house was, for 5 houses, it was 450. And then for this one, obviously if I want to bump it to 4, which I'm actually going to at the end of this, I need 1800. Where a house, let's see, those bump up to 180 per house. So I need 900 of these to do 5 houses. So while the refined materials stay the same, the raw do not. That's a big con in my opinion. It's a lot of time, a lot of resources. Anybody that's ever bought tier 1 wood and stone knows that actually it's pretty expensive really for a tier 1 material. So let's see, moving along here. So there's the first con that I can think of. Trophies. So how these are going to work is each trophy adds 2 happiness to this count. So it divides out. So in a sense, I'm getting 20 happiness for 1 trophy, but since it's divided amongst them, it actually ends up balancing out. If I take those 2 out, I'm exactly the same place as I was with 5 houses. One of the other cons I don't like about the guild hall is that, let's say I just want to focus on woodcutters. I want to level those guys up. Well, I now have to level up my guild hall instead of just 1 house. If I want to leave these other guys low tier, I can do that. So I'm kind of restricted in that sense. Let's see, beds and tables, I already covered that. Got a little cheat sheet I'm trying to go over so I can be as thorough and just get this done. Let's see, the other pro, actually, that I consider to be a pro is that you can only build a guild hall on a guild island. Now, of course, it's going to cost you more to set it up, but you're going to get an auction house and another chest out of the deal, which can come in handy. Um, I think that's great. To have that extra resource. I'm not sure if it really justifies it though. If you're going to just do kind of a low end kind of a thing, maybe. But if you want to really level some of these guys up, I don't see this being feasible at all. I'll give you a quick example too. Scenario covers this a little bit in the slides, but so you'll kind of notice, this is kind of just a flat number that just tells you where you are in the world. And if you change your furniture, you're going to see a timer down here, and I'm gonna pop a piece of furniture and show you. What you really want to be looking at is up here in the question mark. Right now, each one of these laborers, if I bring them a tier 3 book, is going to bring me 121.25. The house was 120 even. So what I'm going to do, just to show kind of the timers, is I'm going to pull a piece here, and you'll notice, well, let's go ahead and just put it back to, so I can just show this and get it done. So you'll notice that I'm still at 42 happiness, but now I've got that timer I was talking about. So if you're coming into here, 121.25, that's kind of weird. It should have changed. It usually does. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. It's an add thing. Let me see here. But anyway, normally when you move furnitures around, you're going to get that timer. And yeah, it doesn't seem to do it when I just take it and put it back. It probably maybe has to decrease it, I don't know. But anyway, as you're building this thing up, even though it might show that you're capped out as much as you can be here, what matters is down here. If this says 110 or 90 or whatever, that's what you're going to get back for your yield when you give it a book. That's the number that matters right there. Really, the most is where that's at in conjunction with this timer. I wasn't going to try to do too much as far as the labor stuff. Scenario's already got that pretty much covered. I don't really need to. Let's see. One of the last things I want to do is kind of look at other comparisons. So far, like I said, this Tier 3 guild hall offers me the same furniture slots, uh, same laborers, same everything as 5 houses, just the Tier 1 cost is higher. So one of the things I wanted to check out is when I upgrade it, if it starts to actually get better and better. So right now, let's just go down there real quick. I have a Tier 4 house already set up, and it is, I believe, for trophies is what I want to be looking at. So it's 10 trophies, so that's 50 trophies, or 50 furniture pieces, I should say, in 5 houses. Let's go ahead and upgrade this. Boom. And yeah, it bumps to 50. So the nice thing to that is that since I'm going to be keeping just the laborers the way they are, I don't want more than 10. I think the laborers went up too. Nope. So um, I need 10 of those slots to get my trophy count back up to keep these guys happy. I need to throw in 5 boar heads and 5 more um, of the other trophies. And then from there, if I want to, technically I can start doing the generalist trophies. And I'm getting 1 point per trophy. It looks like that's the minimum. So technically I can take this, if I want to spend the time to keep it up to par, I can squeeze out more happiness, or more yield, rather, I guess, out of this setup than you can with 5 houses. But there's also a limit to that, of course. I think Scenario covers this as well, but down here, by the time you hit a Tier 6 house, this will be the first one you can, yeah, so 7 upgrades, so 6. So this one's a Tier 6, and it's maxed out. So at a point, you'll be able to max out your houses anyway, with the fame. So I'm not sure that having that ability to add a little extra yield by throwing in journalist trophies in a guild house is really that much more worth it either, versus the exponential cost of the Tier 1 wood and stone. Um, I say no, it's not. But I'm not really hardcore crafter. I'm mainly a gatherer. I just want those lower end resources. Um, so that, let's see, what else? Anything else I want to cover? I think I got most of this stuff that I wanted at least to kind of share, at least for the slides. Um, of course, if you or Rook have any questions on anything else, um, let me know. But I think, just cover the cheat sheet one more time, I think that's really about it. Um, um, yeah, I covered the cons of flexibility of not being able to raise individual houses. I think that's it. So nothing too huge. Just wanted to throw it out there for the slides. Any info you want to take and add, towards the end, for the guild house versus guild hall comparison, feel free to use it up. That's about it. Like I said, anything else, just shoot me a PM, whatever, and I will try to answer whatever I can. Peace out.